Welcome to Travels with Tan. I hope you'll find today's adventure both thrilling and magical like I did.
Hi everyone! We're here in the Philippines and today we'll be hiking to the crater lake of Mount Pinatubo, a stratovolcano.
To get there, I took a public bus from Manila to a city called Capas, Tarlac, and got on a motor tricycle to Station Juliana, then took a 4x4 halfway up to Pinatubo.
So if you look behind me, you'll see that the area is quite deserted and there are lots of ashes left over and there's no vegetation. But this is because of the eruption in 1991. Before that, this entire area was actually covered in dense forest and even farming, and it was the home of some of the indigenous people that my guide said they were actually the first people to have ever settled here on this island.
The indigenous tribe known as the Aita people have now resettled to live in scattered areas in the mountains on the island. But nonetheless, they know how to make a living selling bananas at their booths made of sticks driven into the ground and covered with palm leaves. A sad story, the average life expectancy of the Aita people is actually just 16.5 years. Now, if you're fond of roller coasters, this trip is definitely for you, as you'll be spending 2.5 hours on a 4x4 fighting through bumpy, rugged terrain of rocks and fast-flowing streams that feels pretty much like this. As the trails became narrower, the 4x4s weren't able to carry us anymore, so we continued hiking on foot. This part of the journey consisted of 2 kilometers of hopping and zigzagging through rocky terrain, really adrenaline pumping, and the view was worth every drop of sweat. When nearer the crater, the scenery begins to change and more greenery pops up due to the fact that during the eruption, streams of lava flow nearer the crater were narrower. Then it spreads into greater width the further down that it flowed.
We are here and this is it, the crater lake of Mount Pinatubo. Would you look at that? We climbed down a couple of steps, well, not a couple, a lot of steps, but we're here. This is the destination.
I hope you've enjoyed today's adventure. If you'd like to join me on more of them, please make sure to subscribe to my channel. In the next part of this video, I'll be sharing some useful tips and tricks on traveling to Pinatubo.
Hi guys! Just a quick story before we go into the tips and tricks. So during the trip, I had a guide. He was really young and I was quite surprised that he looked really young. So towards the end of the hike, I wanted to get some personal information about him. So I asked him how old he was and so on, and he said he was only 18. And I asked him, okay, well, don't you go to school? And he said that he didn't go to school. So I asked him, why not? And he said that he was actually working as a guide in order to get some money to pay for his father's medical bills. And his father had actually had cancer. He sacrificed his education in order to get money to pay for his father's medical bills. This has got me thinking about the importance of kind of traveling to developing countries where tourism is a very important industry, unlike in more developed countries. I guess my point is that if you're considering traveling, I think that it would be really worth it to actually travel to developing countries or third world countries, shall we say, where people really need your money, and your money could save their life. On to the tips and tricks. So first of all, if you're going to Pinatubo, from the way I did, which is starting in Manila, you'll have to catch a bus at the bus station. The one that I got left the bus terminal at 2:30 a.m. So you can take a bus that is bound for a couple of different places. You can take one that is bound for San Carlos, Dagupan. You get off Capas Tarlac. Now if you say you're going to Capas Tarlac or Chapas Tarlac, they're not gonna understand you. So you really have to get the pronunciation just right. So it's Capas Tarlac. Okay, when you get there, you actually have to ask the bus driver if it passes by the junction with McDonald's in it. And if you're not sure whether he's gonna understand you, you could just, or junction with McDonald's, and he'll be like, yeah. Then you have to take a motor tricycle, which they will be lined up on the streets. You just grab one of them. They'll look a little bit scary. The drivers will look a little bit scary because it would be really cold at night if you go at night, and they would be covered with a lot of clothing, but don't be scared. They're really nice. Grab a motor tricycle that is bound for Station Juliana. When you're on the motor tricycle, this ride is going to take you about 45 minutes, and it's going to be windy and it's going to be cold because they're going to drive really fast at night. So just make sure you got warm clothing, scarves. I was basically sitting like covering my ears. When you're on the motor tricycle, don't be scared because they're going to drive you into a kind of remote area, and you're gonna think that they're about to kidnap you, but they're not. Look out for the sign that says Mount Pinatubo throughout the entire ride. If you don't see that sign, you're in trouble. When you get to Station Juliana, you'll have to wait a little bit, and then they're gonna kind of register you, and then you gotta pay for your guide, your 4x4 ride, some conservation fees. The whole thing would cost you about 4,500 pesos. So I would advise going as a group because you probably wouldn't want to pay for all that by yourself. Now you have to keep in mind that you can't enter Pinatubo. The tour does not take you after 10 a.m. So it's best to go in the morning. Plus it's gonna get really hot. It is the Philippines, so mornings are better. And that's it, you'll be on your ride all the way to Pinatubo. Important things to bring are clothes that you don't mind getting dirty, because there's gonna be dust, ashes just flying in when you're riding on your 4x4. You can't control it. Sunglasses as well, or else you're gonna get a lot of dust in your eyes. And amazing walking shoes, because you're gonna just be hiking on rocks, jumping from rocks to rocks to rocks to rocks, so you're gonna need better shoes. And that is it for the tips and tricks if you're planning to go to Pinatubo. I hope you will enjoy your trip because it is an amazing place. It's just so beautiful. It really is beautiful. That is it. Thank you for watching my videos. I'll see you later. Bye!